Welcome back to the Live with Grace podcast, where we discuss sports, lessons, and life as athletes, professionals, creators, dreamers, and leaders. I'm Grace Beyer, and I'm your host, and I'm so happy you're here. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Live with Grace podcast. Today on the show, I'm here with a very special guest, someone in my family. As you guys
What's
know,
up?
Grant is on the show today, and we're going to be talking about how to build a brand for yourself. And this is a topic that is very applicable to athletes, especially in the world of NIL. So I thought he would be a perfect person to interview, especially since he's built up his own brand so much within the last year. So for those that don't know, Grant has a brand called Spread Love, and he basically goes to random places and gives out hugs to try to spread the message of love in a world where a lot of people don't have that type of, what'd you say?
I mean, in a word, I just try to make the world a better place, I just try to do the little things that maybe just could add a smile to someone's face, can uplift their day, basically.
Yeah, so it's been awesome. And as you can imagine, just going up and hugging people, it's a pretty uncomfortable thing to do at times, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But just being able to get yourself outside of your comfort zone in order to build your brand, which is a bigger purpose than that small discomfort you might face every now and
Right.
then. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's times you go up to hug people and you're like, I don't know if I want to hug this person,
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
but just to give a short synopsis, you guys can, first of all, you can find Grant on TikTok and Instagram primarily. He's on the other social medias as well, but he has almost 100,000 followers now on Instagram.
Yeah, just about.
And he's almost also at 450,000 on TikTok. So really starting to get into that next tier of content creation, influencing, and especially doing it under this theme that is so positive and enlightening to the world. So
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about just how you started to build your brand and how it's going now?
Yeah, so as for like my clothing brand or as for
Yeah, so you could talk about both. So
yeah.
he has his brand, which is his content, and then he also has his clothing brand, which is kind of tied to that.
Yeah, no, I'll just kind of start with how I got started. Well, it was all in high school. I was a junior at the time. So when COVID hit, I was a freshman and it was like spring break, nobody came back to school. And then the next year you had the option to do online or you could like come into school. And then that third year, my junior year, was the first normal year back where like people came. It was mandatory to come, and I came back, and it was like almost weird to me. It was like everyone was just a new person. It was crazy. You probably felt the same. I mean, even the year before, people just it was just a new world, like a new life. It was nothing was the same as it was a few like just that past year, 2 years ago. The year started junior year, and I kind of waited a little bit, and then it was like maybe February, March time, and I had this idea of just hugging people, and it was like almost just for fun at first. It was just something fun I could do with one of my best friends, Jacob. It was just something fun, and so I did it. Went around. I mean, I noticed like a disconnect in the school. It was also for fun, but it was also just to like uplift people, like bring some type of life to like to the school again, and it worked. I mean, my first video, it got like 5 million views. I mean, I came to school like the next day, and that's all people were talking about was. I mean, people were coming up to me in the hallway, just hugging me without even me coming up to them. So then I kept doing it, and I got suspended for it against school conduct of recording people without their consent. So I got suspended. Nothing against my high school, but I just told myself you can't let this stop you from this message that you're trying to spread, because I noticed that a lot of people were catching on and people really liked it. So I went out to outside places like Disney, Walmart, the mall, and ever since then it's just been up from there, really.
So, can you tell us a little bit about, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but you didn't intend or expect to go viral on that first video, did you?
No, I mean, like, even now, I say that when I post a video, I never post it for the views or like to gain followers. My goal is just to make the world a better place. Just bring a smile to somebody's face. And I mean, that applies to like the people that are obviously the people that I intend to hug, but also for myself, of course. And then like it makes me happy, like, just spreading love. And then the third reason is just for the people watching. I mean, it really puts a smile on the viewer's face a lot of the time, and it makes people so happy. And it's something that I never really expected. And I'm so grateful, and for everybody that supports me. And yeah.
So really, like the message behind that is for people, building a brand. It only takes one video for you to get started with that whole journey. And second
Right.
of all, can you tell us about just expand a little bit about building a brand that also aligns with who you are as a person? Because some people, they're trying to get into the NIL space, they're trying to build a brand, but at the same time, it's hard to know how to be yourself. Can you just tell us a little bit about building a brand that aligns with you as far as your shirt brand and as far as the hugging?
Right. So as I kept going with my videos, this all ties into it, but I hit a mental health block, and I was very depressed, and I honestly wasn't happy with myself, with the way that I looked, with anything. So I kind of just stopped my videos for a little bit, and then I went to USF and my first semester, and I was still battling a lot of stuff. And then I decided to leave USF, come back home, and I posted my first video back
Mm-hmm.
from all the time that I guess you can say taken off or didn't post.
It was quite a while too. It was
Yeah.
a few months at least.
No, it was
Was
like it was almost a year and a half
yeah. It was.
since I posted, and my first video back got 24 million views. But I mean, in all honesty, I just have to say this to like anybody watching or hearing this: whatever you love to do, just do it. Like, don't worry about what anybody else says, because example for me is like a lot of people thought that my videos were corny in high school, and like that was a big talk where like people would
Mm-hmm.
be like coming up to me, or people would be talking saying that like, but I honestly just didn't care. Like that was just me. And that can be with anything. Like my sister is a prime example. She had enough times that she could have gave up by now. Enough times. She tore her ACL twice. I mean, and she didn't. Like, and she went to two different schools now. And it just like, don't ever give up on what you love to do in your dreams. And my dream was never to have all these followers or anything like that. It was just my dream was just to make the world a better place. And that does tie in with my brand, because I wanted to bring awareness into clothing as well.
Repeat that for.
And that does tie into my brand, because I wanted to bring awareness into my clothing as well. When I started, I've always loved fashion. Like, you can ask Grace. I got the biggest suitcase in the family, going to places.
Get shoes he doesn't need, clothes he doesn't
Yeah,
need.
like, but it's just, whenever I dress good, I feel good. So I wanted to start a
That's
clothing
fair.
brand that not honestly was just merch, but I wanted to be more of a clothing brand, because I could easily make a shirt like this and just put my name on it, or
Grant
just a
Beyer, yeah.
hug.
Because his TikTok name is and Instagram name is Grant Beyer.
Yeah, and just like a hug, like a symbol or image on there. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make it a shirt where people would want to wear. People would look at it in their closet and be like, "Oh, I can't wait to wear that," or
Mm-hmm.
I want to go shoes. I want to wear this shoes to go with it." So I did just that. I had a first shirt, did really, really well. And I've started with brand. I got to give him a shout out, Brighton. And I wouldn't be able to do anything of the back end stuff of this clothing brand without him. Yeah, so he's been by my side as well with this clothing brand. I've just been trying to expand it into a level that just a level where people just love the brand. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
spread love. Like, that's what I've been trying to do. I just want this clothing brand to grow as also an awareness to like just spread love, and just just be a good person,
Mm-hmm.
because I promise you good things happen to good people.
Yeah, and that's his original shirt. The back of it is "Be the reason that somebody
Be the
believes
reason people believe there are good
good
people out
people out
there.
there." Just be yourself in whatever content you're making. Be sure to give him a follow as well. And the last thing I wanted to ask you, just to briefly touch on, he's actually about to take a trip to Europe for about what over 3 weeks
Yeah,
to
just about leaving like literally 20 minutes.
kind of fulfill this vision of elevating his brand and his market and his reach even further to more of a global outreach.
Right.
So can you tell us just briefly
Mhm.
how now you're setting goals for the next level and maintaining what you are? You're maintaining your content and now reaching new levels. How are you
Right.
managing all of that?
So with my videos, ever since, so I started it back up in November, and since November, I would say late November. So I really started it back up in December, and since that December mark until now, so like 8 months, I've gained over 300 million views on TikTok and Instagram combined, and with that, I have gained a lot of followers of not just from the US, followers from Finland, London, Paris, I mean, all the way to Japan, to Australia. I mean, and I have a pretty strong fan base in not just the US. So as I was thinking, I was like, I have enough time, this window to go, and I want to go just wherever I'm at, just spread love because like I've been doing it mainly in Florida, and I have done it in other places, Chicago and stuff like that. But I feel like once I reach that global standpoint of people that know my videos, not necessarily know me, because I've seen multiple people that have done hug videos as well because of my videos, and a lot of people have asked me like, oh, don't you get mad they're stealing your idea? And I'm like, no, that's what I want. I want more love to be spread. I want this thing to be like a global, like I want it to be like the biggest trend like that there is, but I do have to like separate myself at the same time, and I want to go over there and spread love to the people over there, because I do have a lot of people that watch my videos over there, and not only that, just the people over there may need it as well.
Right, for sure. A
Yeah.
lot of times it's the people he hugs that most need it,
Mm-hmm.
people that might not be already receiving that type of love on a daily basis. So.
Right. So like I'll give you guys like one example before we end this. I I did a hug video, one of my first ones, and the person that I hugged was this this old, like this middle-aged woman, and she commented on the video and it got like 20 million views. She was wearing green that day, and she commented, "That's me, the lady in the green." And I saw it and I liked it and I thanked her for the hug. And people, when I opened up my TikTok the next day and that video had blown up, not only had that video blown up, but her account had blown up. She had over 5,000 followers and a whole fan base for herself as well. And she DM'd me and she was like, "You don't know how much this means to me. I've been trying to break out of this shell for so long of just believing in myself. And now I can see all these people that, you know, people were, just flooding her comments, calling me her good person, all this stuff." And that's kind of like another reason why I do it. Another one is this lady at Disney, and I hugged her, and she was the balloon lady. So she had like 100 balloons, and Brighton was recording for me at the time, and I was like, "Yo, you think I should hug her right there?" And he's like, "Bro, she has 100 balloons." I was like, "Watch this." So I went up for a hug, and she said yes. And I posted it, and her mom DM me, and she told me that this girl had been going through so much like mental health stuff, and she really needed that hug that day. So that's just why I do it. I mean, like those type of situations is like what really just makes me keep this thing going.
Yeah, it's like almost made me cry. I didn't know either one of those stories.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today. As I said, today was a time crunch podcast because
One more thing to everyone watching this, just to anyone out there like that has a dream of like making an impact on this earth, whether it's, playing basketball, like making an impact on the fans watching you, or if it's social media creation, content creation, or if it's, makeup or hair, whatever it is, like you're having an impact on the person that you're like whatever you're doing is who you're benefiting. And I just want to say, like, just don't ever stop, because God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. If I plug in directions right now to Atlanta, Georgia, there's going to be 5 different ways to get there. There's going to be the fastest way, there's going to be the longest way, there's going to be the one that's in the middle, there's going to be the 2 that's like around the same time. And it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're going to get there. So it could be 5 hours, it could be 10 hours, but you're going to get there. So don't ever stop. Don't ever give up. Just, if you have a dream, just go chase it, and don't ever give up.
That was great. As you see, it's for athletes, dreamers, and leaders. So I hope this helps you guys. Thank you again for coming on the show. And be sure to follow him and connect on all social media platforms, especially Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, for
Grant
sure.
Beyer _
Grant Beyer _ on Instagram, and just Grant Beyer on TikTok.
Yep. And Spread Love brand is linked in your bio. Right?
Yes. Spread love with an extra E at the end of love.com. Thank you guys. Spread love, not hate.
Amen. And stay tuned for the next episode on the Live with Grace podcast. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Live with Grace podcast. I hope you found our conversation today insightful and inspiring. Before we wrap up, I've got something special for our loyal listeners. As a thank you for your support, you can use the coupon code LOVE10 at checkout for 10% off your order. That is LOVE10, all capital letters, for 10% off your order. Visit my new store at the link in the description or by heading to gracebeyer.myshopify.com. And if you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with fellow athletes and sports enthusiasts. Stay connected with me and with the podcast on social media for updates, behind the scenes, and more. And until next time, this is Grace Beyer signing off. Keep chasing your dreams, and we'll see you in the next episode.